Kate's down there. So if you wouldn't mind, we'll start with Kate, just call out your name.
Kate Sullivan.
Mark Phillips.
Russ Denoto.
Deb Suggs. Joan Defoe.
John Rose.
Mary Murphy.
Laurel Clark. Chloe Lincoln.
Kenny Burke.
Nancy Brady. Karen Black. Carol Stedman.
Sharon Henderson.
David Gates.
Ronald Bergeron.
Elizabeth Brickman.
John Desmond.
Karen Desmond.
Okay, and we have one new person just walked in. Becky, could you just give your name for the roll call?
Stephanie Osborne.
Thank you very much. There's a sign-in sheet as well. So, start with that first order and go on to item number 2, approval minutes, draft minutes that were sent out. Forgive me for being anchored down here. I'm just a little plugged into the television here. Don't know if everybody had a chance to review the minutes as presented, but I'd ask for somebody to make a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes.
We just
Any
want a
discussion?
clarification. We'd like a clarification. There's nothing stated about the poll that we had for December,
Okay,
meeting-wise. It's not listed there.
right.
And then afterwards, it was canceled, so.
Okay, so it pertains to the actual meeting that we held. Let me just scroll down. Okay, so under item 5, upcoming meeting, we talked about, at that point, then how we would try to hold the next meeting. So
Yeah.
as far as that meeting is concerned, I think that's consistent with the intent. What happened subsequently was not part of that particular meeting, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it should have been listed. That way everyone knew that we did do a poll. We had an outcome.
The poll was after the meeting, though, right? All right, so that wouldn't be in this set of meeting minutes, but I hear what you're saying. So like, for this meeting, we could talk about that, but that is this meeting minutes, so that we can reflect on how to do polls, how to best make consensus.
Because in the beginning, it was like we picked dates, but you couldn't make it, so.
Yeah,
And ended
that's
up-
the nature of coordinated meetings, I believe you 110%, believe you. So.
Can I ask a question? In what public meeting was the use of electronic polls authorized?
Sorry?
In what public meeting was the use of electronic polls authorized?
That wasn't done during a meeting. Okay, so in regard to this set of meeting minutes, for that meeting that we held, does anybody have any amendments? Because I understand what you're saying, after the meeting, there was discussion, and just full disclosure, I work with the town staff, we figure out how do we do this, and we decided, let's do an option. Just
Yeah,
full
but the
transparency.
thing is that you picked those dates, and then everybody went and posted it.
Understood. So let's get back to the fact that we're talking about meeting minutes for a specific meeting. That meeting, we didn't talk about all these details. That happened after the fact. So for this set of meeting minutes, is there any proposed change? Because I will make sure that we talk about this, and then we can, basically talk about how to do this in the future. How do we make sure we get a consensus on the date?
So we'll go back to this subject, is what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Sure,
Yeah.
that works.
Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
I was just going to say, I was present at this meeting. It said I'm listed on here as not present, but I was present.
Got you. Got that, Kate?
Joan was there. I'm Joan
Oh, I'm sorry,
Defoe.
was Russ, you were taking the minutes?
Yeah, I was, and I apologize. I was not sure exactly your name, and I gave my best guess as to who you were, and my apologies for not
Okay.
being able to annotate that properly.
And I was not at that meeting. And I
Okay.
was- And I was the
Sorry.
Can I have that list, please?
I was not listed, right?
Yeah.
So there are 2 adjustments to the attendees.
So it's not noted who took the notes.
Right, yeah, that was Russ.
Yeah, that needs to be.
And anything else?
Clarify the meetings, if it's gonna be every, 4th Thursday, as it states in the, and then you switch it and it's on a Wednesday at the last minute.
again, not discussed at the last meeting, but we'll come back to that. Because it's important. Any other changes to these set of meeting minutes? All right, so there's an amendment for the note taker, that was Mr. Noto, and there are two corrections as far as attendees. Mark, you want to amend your motion to accommodate those changes?
Yeah, I move that we approve the minutes with the amendments that were discussed during the meeting.
Okay.
Yep, I'll second that.
Okay, and any other further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Unanimous, unanimous approval. Let me go back to the agenda. Chair's report, shaking off the cobwebs, holiday season is kind of come and gone, still kind of out there, shaking off the cobwebs. I've been personally very busy with the Sauk Direct Skirmish, talking to some of the working chairs, very active, make sure they get more momentum. We are in 2026, where although we did have a fantastic kickoff with the Liberty Tree Planning, I think we're officially into the execution mode of the program. So we're here and we're moving forward. So welcome everybody. With everything that's happening at a national level, it's crazy town out there, but you know we're thankful to be here in Rhode Island and South Kingston and celebrating. We believe is truly important to all of us in terms of our role in the revolution and what the future holds. That's my brief report. And for those folks that may be new here, we have a standard agenda format. What we really try to do is empower the work groups to go offline and do work and then report out during our meetings. So I'll just jump right into item 4, discussions. And we'll start with John and Karen Desmond for the speaker series.
Okay, well, we have with us our first speaker, Deb Suggs, right across the way. She's going to start next Wednesday. Ken, I know you and I have talked about the possibility of, you saying, well, I don't need to be there at every one to introduce it. But I think for the very first speaker, for Deb, the American Daughters of the American Revolution, I think you should show up and just announce that this is the beginning of the speaker series, and that those people in the audience, you would then have a presence for them also as the chair of the whole committee. So if you're willing to do that.
Absolutely, just as I did with Carol and Sharon.
Right.
I'm happy to do
Yeah.
that, whatever role.
If you would do that just for the first one. So we have Deb set up, and Mark and I have to have a conversation about, we're going to have coffee and cookies. Belmont is redistributing its store in some particular way, and they said that their kitchen would not be open until possibly March or even April, in which case we went to Shaw's and asked them for handheld pastries, and we went to Panera and we got 4 boxes of 2 of caffeinated and 2 of decaf for that. And so Mark and I will have a conversation at some point, maybe at the end, to discuss that. And well, we think we have everybody in line. Getting all the speakers together at an agreed upon times is a little like herding cats, which I discovered at the 300. So we have a list of speakers and times and places. We're all the way through May at the South Kingstown High School, and then we're there at the Contemporary Theater from then till the end of the speaker series in August. So that kind of covers everything there. We've been working with Chloe and in terms of making sure that she's aware of every date. She brought out the first press release, and I think that's good. And the last thing is that Terry had gotten a hold, she had been contacted by a reporter for the Independent, and Ali Shinky, I think it is, and she and I had a conversation Monday in which I basically told her the background for the speakers, and that I invited her, as I had done with the Independent Reporter 2 years ago, to come before the meeting when the speaker is setting up his or her AV equipment with the high school. And then if Ally could, in the case of Deb, for example, have a short interview with her at that. And I've invited them to stay, the reporter to stay for the talk and to, whatever there. So I'm never sure, because I'm naturally paranoid, but I would say it should go off next Wednesday with Deb's help, with Kenny's help, and with Mark's help, and with Ryan Muir, who has been very, very generous in terms of reorienting me to the AV system at the high school for the last time. And he's been very good with that. So I guess beyond that, I think that's where we are for this evening.
You mentioned the AV system, so this is gonna be videoed by the high school?
Well, Jerry,
or-
no, the high school does not do it, but Jerry Kraus, who was, I don't know how much a strong a member he is, but he's an adjunct member of this committee, and Jerry taped all the 300th speakers. And Jerry will be taping them, re-editing them, and putting them up, I assume, by the end of the year on the South Kingstown's website. Same as the 300th, which is still up there, so that's,
So I think the AV system is more A than V.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
set up the
yeah.
audio, the microphones and that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
it's primarily that, but they all come with laptop, I assume Debbie will.
I have my laptop.
And there's a huge projection screen, et cetera, that will be going with it.
Do copies of something like that ever put into libraries or something, or archive somewhere, so in the future, anything
The
like?
only place Jerry has ever placed them is at the South Kingstown website, which is easily accessible to anyone. You gotta maneuver around inside the website a little bit, but.
I understand that, but years and years to come, if there's something that's in the libraries or South County Museum or somewhere that people can get their hands on after we're gone.
Terry,
That's
didn't,
what I'm
for the
thinking.
300th, didn't Joanne turn over all of that information to the Peacedale Library? Yeah.
Oh, you
So,
got it, okay, well, then
good.
Peacedale Library.
a copy of it.
I didn't realize that. Thank you for that correction.
The other thing to ask or remind Terry that we might need that big jumbo screen at the Contemporary Theater. Would that be possible if it's when we do things outdoors? Bring that-
The inflatable
bring a
one?
Jumbo
Yeah.
screen.
Oh, the inflatable one.
Is that possible?
I'm not sure that's your best option, because it's a bit cumbersome and it really doesn't, that's a kind of close range. It doesn't have a great
Is there a
resolution.
different type of screen? Is it a different
Right,
one?
but we can certainly explore other options
Okay.
for,
This doesn't have to come up until June,
Summer.
so until when we ship, when
Okay.
South Kingstown High School closes for the year, for its life,
Mhm.
and then we ship over to Contemporary Theater starting in June.
okay.
And then I don't know if everybody's been on the South Kingstown website. Have people looked at it? And the things that are listed there, and Chloe put the speakers and all. So when I was maneuvering, I can get very confused on the computer. So I'm at Rhode Island 250th, and I'm going, oh, there's Debbie. Well, I was on the state Rhode Island site, and Debbie's whole thing is there. The
Yeah.
thing they put in is
Look
right
at
there.
that.
and I'm
Almost
just-
famous, so.
I don't know if you've seen it, yeah.
Let me get a little
So
crazy
they
here.
have listed
I'm getting a
all the
little-
different, they've listed all the different
Yes, they
towns
do,
and what
yeah.
they're
We have
doing.
to submit those, so we do submit them and
Yeah.
we'll do that
As they come out.
throughout the, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they had actually gotten it
Yeah.
on there, that's great.
It's on,
Yeah,
it's
it
on
was
that
really
site, so if
nice.
somebody comes from Smithfield to listen to Deb, that's the reason.
Yeah.
Passing the tower? Either way, they're gonna pass the tower? I'm a
Oh.
little concerned about that.
Virtually.
Exactly, all right.
So that's really all we have to report for right now.
Do you have any other needs as far as volunteers,
contact. Her name is Pam. She's from the Fife and Drum Corps group. And she and a drummer, she's a fife player, she and a drummer will appear if we want them to sort of serenade the audience as they come in, and they are willing to do that for all the speaker events. And the speaker events for both the Contemporary Theater and South Kingstown High School. And they will show up, I guess, about 6 o'clock, and will go about their business until the speaker begins.
I mean, I intend to be there for the first one, but also the other subsequent events as a volunteer to help out. So, we'll see you in the first couple of events. If it's a heavy lift, if you need bodies to run out and grab coffee.
I'll take care of the coffee and the food from Shaw's. So I will go collect that.
Shaw's
for
and
us.
Panera.
Yeah.
Shaw's
What
and
time
Panera.
do you want to do that? 5, 6?
What time does the speaker start?
Speaker starts at 7. For example, Deb will show up around 6:30 to get
I'll swing by at
set.
5:30 and get it, and that way the coffee will still be hot.
Oh, okay.
So I'll swing by Panera at 5:30, I'll bring it over to the school or wherever we're doing our.
Yeah, great,
speaker.
yeah, as you did for the 300, you and Steve did for the 300, yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. And then,
I actually ran across.
if Ken's not there, I can welcome the crowd. I'm the vice chair of the committee, so
Oh,
I can
okay.
welcome the crowd.
All right, and the other thing is, I actually ran into Steve, and he said, well, I'm not a member of that committee, but I guess I could help out, he said, to
Steve Stewart?
From the 300.
deal out the cookies and the coffee. So I think we're covered. Who knows? Again, I'm paranoid until it actually starts.
We got your back, Joe.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you, John and Karen, for, again, continuation on the success of the 300 speaker series. I'm looking forward to this. I'll jump over to the skirmish. Some handout here. There's printouts of graphics going up together. Actually, put them together. So this is our first day of the event in February 7th. This past month, I've been working with our work group, kind of dividing and conquering discrete tasks. And I've asked those folks to reach out to our committee members and the community as a whole to help out. I'm thinking maybe about a dozen or so volunteers for the afternoon would be sufficient. It's not a very labor-intensive program, but it's really meant to have welcoming crews in and around the Saugatuck Park and Elementary School parking lot area, so we can host the event. We have chunked out, I guess, several sections of work. One of them is the horse and carriage rides, starting at the school, getting out onto High Street, then Cemetery Lane, looping around and coming back. That ride, once again, is narrated by Ladies of the Green. We've got anecdotal, historical references to places, people. We are highlighting the First Rhode Island Regiment, people of color, the indigenous populations that fought from South County in the Revolutionary War. We really are trying to kick off this event and try to pique people's curiosity to think a little bit more deeply than just the standard person with a musket marching around. There's a lot of, goes without saying, there's a lot of history here, and it's amazing to understand that the First Rhode Island Regiment is as important as it was. And I lament to say that I didn't know enough about that regiment until I got actively involved with this program. So it's the first portion of the event. There'll be a parallel portion, and again, for volunteers, it's mostly in the field, in the park area. We've got several active programs going on. We've got 4, I'm working on a 5th militia that are going to be encamped within the Saugatuck Park. We've got a gentleman by the name of John McNiff. He's a retired National Park Service ranger who specialized in portraying Roger Williams in Providence. He's portraying Bariah Brown, who's a high sheriff who was a high sheriff, period accurate in the Revolutionary War area, to muster people, to draw them in from the parking lot, and to have a small platform. We've got to work that out. Actually, Russ, you're tagged to work this one out. He's going to be mic'd up with a wireless mic, and again, he's going to be talking about things that were relevant in that period of time. I'd like to take credit for discovering that the town of South Kingstown issued a resolution opposing the British East India Company's tea. I didn't. AI helped me. But I validated it after I did that quick search. So we're going to be handing out copies of the resolution that was enacted back in the middle 1700s. And again, it brings relevance to South Kingstown, the Revolutionary War era, just to get people thinking, get them talking. There'll be group training during the encampment event. There's going to be beef stew that's being cooked. I know we're going to try to work with Daughters of the American Revolution in terms of having a pod of activity. Ladies of the Green will co-join that group and start jeering and taunting the British and the Loyalists, the Tories throughout the event. It'll be clustered around the memorial and the flagpole. The flag will have the British colors raised when we start this event. We'll have a supplemental group on the opposite side of the river. The British will have their cannons there, and we'll have the third group of volunteers on either side of the pedestrian bridge. They're there to greet people, to point them in the right direction, but at a critical point in time during the event, they're going to secure the bridge because there'll be an active retreat of the British to their side, the Bell Block side of the river. They will start their cannon fire, and then they will charge at us. That's when we need to secure the bridge. We will fire back at them, and the actual skirmish event happens towards the end of the day. So there's been a lot of work on that. I'm still actively pulling together all the invoices, certificates of insurance, W-9s, all the gory detail that goes along with basically everything you would do in a parade, but it's clustered at a singular event. I do have a quick handout I can share with the committee members. I haven't made it public yet, but this is what I've been sharing with the militia and the various volunteers that are helping out. This kind of goes through how the program will be set up for the day. And you see the Saugatucket Park up here. This is parking for the actors' horse and carriage ride. This is their loop, and yes, we have been in touch with the Riverside Cemetery. I've got to get back with them. But this is the general layout of the event. The layout of the colonist forces, Colonial Cannon, British forces, British Cannon. We'll have another British group over at this part, just outside of Sari Sanctuary, and the High Sheriff. We do actually have a period-accurate hot chocolate purveyor, the Pewter Pot Chocolater from Salem, Connecticut. So if nothing else, it's going to be cold. Come out here, go for a horse and carriage ride. We've actually got wool blankets. Snuggle up with your buddies, grab some hot chocolate, learn some history, and then come out here and watch the show. So again, this is just showing the militia. There's the list of militias: Kingston Reds, Rangers, Watch the Light Infantry, Rhode Island Union Training and Video Artillery, Ewell, Lebanon, Town Militia, the Royal Order of the Foot, and I'm going to talk about this shortly. Thank you, Sharon. Sharon put me in touch with the 1st Rhode Island Regiment group, DC Overly. He's down in Trenton, New Jersey. It's kind of an oddity that the Rhode Island 1st Regiment is not active in Rhode Island. They're all over the seaboard, but we're hopeful that we can close the gap and bring them in, because that shows again the enslaved and the indigenous fighters from the Revolutionary War. Again, just showing a little bit more detail. Period actors: Brian Brown, Ladies of the Green, Daughters of the American Revolution. We do have a gentleman, John Rossetti. He's part of the Ewell, Lebanon Town Militia. He does portray an indigenous person. So he has his own outfit, his own dress, his own little stand where he shows, he's kind of like a trapper, he's nomadic. So we do have some decent diversity with regard to the period actors in the show.
Kenny, do you have an idea of the number of attendants we're expecting along with the number of participants?
Yeah, so I'm working with the town, and I've filed my miscellaneous permit, and I'm saying that I'm saying about 500. Ron, I don't know if you remember what you had for your event for the bonfire in February.
We had about 250 people.
Yeah.
And it had snowed that morning too. So.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly, right? It was snowing during the fire. So I'm thinking, Dave, we should be able to double that. We are starting to now do some promotions for the event. 500 is what we're looking for. I think we can do much better than that, so, but I don't want to go overboard because I'm actively talking with the town, and I've said it's 500. So if I said it's more than that, then I'd have to redo my permit.
Do you have a good idea by chance, and I don't mean to continue to interject, but on the budget and what the income is and the costs?
Yeah, it's a great point. And let me just scroll through this. This is just showing, and I'm going to get right to that. I'll just finish the slide deck. This shows kind of the area of activity. There's a secured perimeter for everybody that's concerned. Part of the volunteer effort will be to secure this perimeter. Obviously, we don't have to secure the waterfront. We have to secure the cannons over here. So this shows the flow of the event, how folks will come in and out across the bridge. This is when we have a very specific catalyst during the event towards the end of the afternoon, where we push the British out and we start the skirmish. And then finally, there's the active skirmish, cannon fire, and then again, this is when we have the British come back over the bridge. So to your point, we had a budget that was presented and approved, and that was $13,700. What we did beyond that is we also applied for a grant through the Secretary of State's office for $5,000. Because of timing, there was an early grant period. I put the skirmish in there as a grant program, so that was funded. So we have an additional $5,000. This is something that I want the committee's opinion on. I do need your concurrence on this. So I am within my budget. However, as Sharon had graciously offered, she put me in contact with the 1st Rhode Island Regiment. We've been negotiating their fee to come up, and they're drawing folks from basically New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. The first proposal came in at about $12,000. Obviously the entire budget. So we've been working, we've whittled that down to half that amount. It's $6,000. It's still a budget buster. What I've been able to do is fit it within this program and leave all of the other programs whole, but it is an increase in this budget. So I can share this after a meeting when I'm showing you on this first column is the estimate. What's in yellow is the actual yellow, or just the invoices that are coming into the town. And it does show that I would, with the addition of the $5,000 grant, we would still be positive $150. This is a free event, right? So it's run by all volunteers. But it's a I would call this a substantial change in the budget.
So I'm kind of confused with the way you presented this. So that budget right now, does that include the $6,000 for the regiment?
So this, one of the first columns down here is what was endorsed by the committee and the council. That's $13,700. What I've done in addition to that, based on an opportunity to bring the 1st Cornell Regiment is I've added that, but I've also added that we need to use this grant money to be able to fund them. What I was able to do, again, I said that there are $6,000, the grant's $5,000. We've trimmed back some of the other expenses so that we can account for that additional $1,000, but I can't unilaterally, make that decision. So this is really more of a committee discussion.
Was sponsors ever considered?
They still are, and honestly, the holidays kind of overwhelmed, I think, me and most other folks. Sponsors are still being considered. I'm still actively talking with these folks. They've got 4 people that are queued up. They could bring up to 8, but that swells the number back up to 12,000. Any funding that comes in kind of gets absorbed by the committee unless it's specifically designated for one of the specific events, for a monument or whatever else. So this is both a good and a bad thing. It's a great thing, I think, because I didn't have a point of contact. Sharon was able to give me the point of contact. The bad thing is the numbers come in much higher than all the other local militias. This group, I should add, though, to their credit, it's not just some local folks that are, they like to do cosplay. This is actually the Living History Company, okay? They're a bona fide 501c3. They take their work seriously. They are enthralled to be considered for this program. They intend to help educate folks about what happened through the Revolutionary War. They've read our script. They know the prominence we want to put on this group of militia. So I see these folks being kind of a highlight. Even though I think the skirmish could have stood alone, this significantly elevates the event. So it's an actual bona fide group of actors. They're actors, and they take their craft seriously.
So is there a motion to amend your budget to reflect this influx of the $5,000 and the expenditure of the Rhode Island regiment?
I think we're getting there. I'm not sure if anybody else has any thoughts or concerns, or, but I think at some point we definitely need to take that motion.
Well, this happens next month, right?
Yeah,
Right.
February 7th.
So I think this is the
Well,
time.
and today would be the time. Thank you, John. But I want to make sure everybody has a chance to talk. And again, this happened, it was December 18th. Sharon was gracious enough to give me the gentleman's name, and we connected a few days later.
Can you speak on
So if we amend the budget, where actually those funds coming from, but you say you have people that maybe will step forward to help sponsor it. But in that case, do you have to sign them up prior to knowing that these people are going to sponsor them? Or what is the sequence that you're planning to do?
Yeah, thank you very much. So the sequence would be, I've been looping Terry into this. There's a ton of emails back and forth. They would like to be secure, I would say, towards the end of next week. And that would then require us to get an invoice, and get a certificate of insurance. So yeah, tonight we would have to make a decision as to whether or not we want to bring them on board. Following up on donations and other sources of income, we've been talking about how we could soften the blow. These folks will likely stay the night. So and we went back and forth. Is it 8 people? Is it 6? Is it 4? You want to stay at the Holiday Inn, Hampton Inn, and they're like, we could do Airbnbs. So there's an ability to drop their fee down, but it'd have to be due to a fundraising effort or an in-kind donation from business, specifically lodging and specifically meals, right? So they've baked into this fee. There's the transportation. They have to get their black powder and cartridges. I'm separately working with the Kingston Reds so that they can provide the black powder and cartridges and not have these folks violate New York state law of transporting stuff across that list, you know what I mean? It's crazy. But I think the point is, if we're able to get some donations, that will come off the bottom line, and then that funding will get reassigned to another program. Not this one. I mean, if we were able to make it with this additional $5,000 grant, we would supplement that money, put it to another program.
So have they given you a price if that were to occur, that you could find lodging and food for them, what it would be?
Yeah, it's basically, I went online, Hampton Inn's like $125 a night. I'm thinking, God, I know where.
No, I
gotta
mean,
be careful.
I mean what the militia would be charging. Say.
So what it is a deduct. So I use as a basis $125 per night per person, right? So it's the cost of, so it's 4 people, so $500. $500 for lodging, and it'll be another $200 for meals, $50 per person, for dinner. So that would be the value of getting lodging, and if we're able to get lodging and meals taken care of, they could do a reduction in their fee. And I told them, I said, this is like I can't grab some coupons from Burger King and someplace over there, and somebody's got a single room Airbnb. They all want to be together. They all want to eat together. So it's threading a needle is how I pitched it to them. I'm like,
And they don't want us to set up tents and be authentic.
Right, that's it,
I
yeah.
don't know anybody at this table wants to set up
I was
tents and talk
thinking
about that.
Go
no,
all
in. Some of these militia do that, by the way. Yes.
They're actors.
So you're talking 6 people?
It's 4.
All right, 4 people.
Yeah.
And 1 night or 2 nights?
Oh, it's 1 night.
1 night?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a neighbor who does Airbnb, and I could possibly get him to maybe donate his house.
That would be, that would be
Let me get back to you. I will speak to him tonight after I leave here.
And if that falls, I have a bed and breakfast. I just have to make sure on my books that I don't have any book for that night, that I would be willing to step up and help.
Sure, that'd be wonderful. It's February 7th.
What's February 7th is the event, February 6th
for the.
I believe they told me they'd drive in the morning.
Okay.
And then they do all the day thing, and then they're dog tired.
And
And
then-
we've already got plans to go
Well,
out.
it's
We're-
right up the hill. That's,
Perfect.
it's on Kenyon Avenue.
Yeah, you
So,
can't get any
I
closer.
mean,
Right across the
you can't get
bridge.
any closer.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Much your way home.
This is wonderful, so.
All right, let me ask him, and
Some squirrels too.
quite
They
sure.
can come to my house.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, well, he's got 6 bedrooms, so.
So I'm gonna tempt fate here. So we talked to, or I talked to DC Overly about their desire to participate. They want to participate. They want to bring 8 people. They've got storytellers. They've got women that are period actors as well. They have one of their group plays the fife. So I don't want to make a deal out of this, but if this is expandable, if the group wants it, they want to bring their full crew. So it's really all a matter of how. I think they're going to make a significant impact with 4 people, and I'm good. That's the baseline. But there's horse trading that can go into play as well. If we are able to bring other accommodations to them, then they may say, well, how about if I just add 1 or 2 people and keep the 6,000? So I'm just saying, they've offered that, so I'm sharing with you that's what their offer is. I'm good with the 4 as the base, but then again, it's also a matter of, some of these militia are going to bring anywhere between 6 and 10 to 15 people. So I want to make sure there's parity in terms of how they are seen, and as far as their ranks, and when they're lined up and they're in the field with the other groups. So let's just take this one step at a time. 4 people is what we're talking about right now, and if we can find lodging And then I can separately start talking to some of the local businesses, the restaurants in particular. And if they can donate some meals, that would be amazing, and they can reduce our need for that grant and reassign the funding from the grant to another program. Any other questions? And again, I'll mention for volunteers, again, pointing out Ross and Mark and Kate are, like I've asked them to step in and help out with their areas. Mark's gonna be with the horse and carriages, Russ is in the middle of the field, and Kate is going to help with the security on the bridges. So please reach out to them if you'd like to volunteer. It's not a heavy lift, but they can support.
So, Ken, what time is the skirmish actually gonna begin? More like
That's a good
5-ish?
question.
You said towards the end.
No, so good question. It's in the afternoon, and I gotta get with you, Chloe.
No, I meant the fight, or whatever you
Yeah,
wanna
the
call
fight
it.
is actually right around 4 o'clock.
Oh.
Okay, so we're working on the logistics. I've got a special musket shot that's gotta go off to indicate the retreat, and then the cannon fire happens. You know you're in a musket or a skirmish. So basically, it's from 1 to 4. It's from 1 to 5:30 is if we're bookending the whole event. I know this. I know it says 2. I know that. Yep. Yeah, volunteers is separate, but for the public, like, so I'm gonna have to get back with you, Chloe. So we're gonna be ready to go at noon. We want people driving up and down High Street, Main Street. What's going on? What's the campfire? Why are people dressed up? You know, and honestly, you know, we hope that they're gonna come out if they didn't know about it already. The program officially starts at 1 because we've received our Rhode Island DOT parade permit for the use of High Street, just to get the horse and carriages out and around the corner. So from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we're running those horse carriages, and the ladies of the green sitting in the carriages with the attendees just to give them stories, right? And there's more to it. So then from 4 to basically 5:30ish, that's the actual skirmish. That's the muskets, that's the cannon fire, and that's the British retreating across the bridge.
So that road will be blocked then?
So we're gonna have alternating one-way traffic on High Street. You can keep passing. We actually kind of like that because you want people to question what's going on. You kind of want them rubbernecking a little bit, you know. The only closure per se is just for about 10 minutes, and that's the pedestrian bridge. And that's just so that when the British fire the cannon, they want to charge back over the bridge, we need to clear that out. That's also when we set up the safety perimeter around the park, so that an actual skirmish can take place.
So where's parking gonna be?
So that was a great question. So
That's a good question.
we did have
Your
that
house.
scripted out. It's not easy. I mean, we held, you see these blue lots, municipal lot, town hall, on-street parking. We do have to follow up with One High Street and the other areas on the opposite side of the park. So this is intended to be a local program, right? So we're not, and it's kind of short duration. Trifecta, we were running trolleys, you know, we're parking at the high school. I don't think we're gonna see numbers that big, so I think we can manage a short-term influx of people parking and then walking.
How about St. Francis Church? They've got a pretty good, has anybody contacted them?
Yeah, I haven't
I mean,
yet.
If they don't have anything going on, I mean.
Right, exactly. So we've got to hit up those folks. I had to get the parade permit and the town miscellaneous permit prepared, submitted. I had to make an adjustment last night, so that's all done. So now I think I'm in go mode to basically close together the supplement.
The only thing with St. Francis is they may limit the parking time because of the service at 5.
They've got a service at 5 on.
But they still have to know about this.
Yeah. Thank you.
They already know about it.
They know that we're doing,
They have to because the
okay.
mailer had to go out.
I just, know that I spoke to a merchant who's on Main Street and, not Main Street, yes, Main Street. And they were like, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll talk to Kenny Burke. That's exactly what it is.
Rebecca Cook from.
That's who yes, it was Rebecca.
So, we may have crossed paths, so,
Yeah.
I had just given her, like, the long
Mhm.
story,
Good.
gave her a copy of, some of the layout, and I think they had a meeting last week, so hopefully she's gotten the word out. So, yeah, this is a big question, it's coming, you know. quickly.
Kenny, you can use parking behind my building.
Great.
The old Wakefield Post Office, that's
Yeah.
25 spots.
Perfect,
So,
sounds good.
right around the corner.
Yep, yep, that's great, I mean, this is what we want pedestrian, local level, we're here, we're really accommodating, the locals, I think we're probably gonna draw folks from other towns, it is a free event. One thing I do have to do, Chloe and Terry, I wanna start publicizing these rides, cause we know for the Town Beach Party, the Harvest Moon Festival, the rides on the carriages was wildly popular. People were really upset when we had to stop it. So I'm wondering if there's a way that we can have people register or just say, get a placeholder. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to make it overly complicated, but it'd be great to have people start thinking about it in terms of a limitation of availability, because then they sense, well, I think I should sign on just so I can secure my spot.
We could probably set something up through our registration software.
You just make it like $0.
No charge.
Right.
And then you can
But
put
we
a
need to know
roster.
some details from you, like how many fit in the carriage.
Yep.
How long the ride is.
How long the
Yeah,
ride is.
10-minute ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, 10-minute ride, but you gotta figure, you know, another couple minutes to get on, couple minutes to get off, so about 15 minutes, 2 horse-drawn carriages, so they run in continuous loops. And I'm pretty confident that if we had a lot of people show up, we could, we wanna start at 4. These horses are conditioned to work in skirmishes, so cannon fire, musket fire doesn't bother them, like, that's great.
That's actually.
Horse
running around
the
street.
You know. New England character, so we should be proud of that, but that's something I hadn't thought of. But last to volunteer.
Oh, volunteer and so, okay.
Will there be any visual posters like Belmont Shores, Stop and Shop? I mean, people still stop and see them all the time reading those.
Yeah, I'm with you, so we're fortunate to have Cory running point on the graphics. I've got some ideas queued up, and honestly, I'm just shaking off the cobwebs from the holidays, so yes, we can do that. We have a separate marketing budget for the overall program, so I think that's a light lift. It's not a heavy dollar item.
I just think it's important to have the hours so people, if they see something at 1 o'clock, they think maybe it's over by 2, but if carriage rides and the fight is on, that it really is important, I think, to have hours of what's going on.
Absolutely, and we've done this with other events where we've got a grandiose kind of big concert poster, and then we have kind of short versions where it just is like, it's here, and be here at this time, this time, this time. You know, it's like, make it really simple, so that people can look at it quickly and say, okay, yeah, I see that. And they can either grab a little tab, or they can do a QR code and, you know, chase the website. Thank you for that.
On Main Street, so.
Yeah.
It's like a drive out quick.
So I'm gonna go back to Ron's point. If we're kind of done on the main bones of the skirmish, I would like an endorsement, and it could be whatever you want. I'll suggest it's an endorsement to use the Secretary of State's grant to supplement our originally approved budget with the expectation that we can further reduce that and reallocate funding to other programs if we're able to get an Airbnb or other compensation for the first regiment actors.
I'll make that motion.
A second.
Well,
Okay. Under discussion.
I want to make sure that you have the budget that you need. So I think the motion should be to amend your budget to reflect 18 grand. Is that what the new budget would be?
Thank you for the clarification. So it's 18,700.
Okay,
And that leaves me another, that's the projected expenses.
Okay.
Based on actual invoices.
I feel that that's what we need to make the motion on, and then it's supplemented by the $5,000 or however it's going to be paid for, with the understanding that it could, be stipend by other people offering other things such as housing and food. But you need your budget, because if you don't get the budget, you're not going to get the people.
True.
I'll amend the motion to give you a budget of $18,700, including the $5,000 grant.
Thank you, John.
I'm second.
Okay, any other discussion on the topic? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. That was a very interesting and exciting opportunity that Sharon had queued up for me. So again, I want to thank Sharon for putting me in touch with first Rental Regiment folks. Let's go on to the 4th of July enhancements. Put the hot pokers to Mark Phillips.
So for the 4th of July, I talked to Terry, talk about getting characters like the Minions, those kinds of cartoon characters. We're gonna make our firework display a little more bold, a few more shells, so there'll be better fireworks than in years past. And that's for my $500 budget. That's kind of all I got.
Yeah, so if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Chime in, we are in the middle of budget season, so we are preparing an operating budget, which the council has to authorize in 4th of July. Community events is one of those. However, I have no way of knowing at this time if there will be, the council will be amenable to additional funds for 4th of July. One of the things that I will point out is that our fireworks display, over the years, we've had a pretty static budget, and so about 5 or 6 years ago, we may have had 2,000 shells in our fireworks display. Now we have about 1,200 shells for the same amount of money. So we just want to be able to have a really spectacular fireworks display on this particular 4th of July. So no, in terms of funding until the budget is approved, but we'll also look at the fife and drum partners who happen to be local, and if they would like to join, it'll add a flavor of the Revolutionary War theme to
I'll
the,
talk to them on Wednesday at the
the
speaker
event.
series.
And we'll keep working. There's other ideas in the pipeline, but not fleshed out yet.
Great. Yeah, I think this is obviously it's one of the town's major marquee events aside from the parades. And it'd be a good opportunity for all of us as committee members to join in the celebration. And again, Mark, I'm gonna kind of load you up. So let's have some fun. Let's celebrate this. Let's celebrate our community. Let's celebrate South Kingstown, the state, the nation. And again, I say that, know that there's a lot of turmoil out there, but there's a lot of good discussion that's happening as well. So I think it's all on us to set the example on how to rally folks together and remember why we call this our home. So, okay, we'll move on to the town beach party and Russ.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. Over the last couple weeks, I tried to reach out to the police and fire again to try to get the beach party on their schedule. With the holidays, it was tough to reach people, so I'm playing phone tag, but should be able to get that secured in the next week or so.
And I know you had a work group meeting just before
Yeah, I did. So we have, Ted, who will be in charge of the bands and the stage, and he's working on getting, some acts to perform. One thing that did happen is that the children's band that we were intending on having perform unfortunately had a scheduling issue. So Ted is in the process of filling in a band for them, and it probably will not be kid-oriented like we had, previously talked about. But needless to say, the kids will be involved, and there'll be activities for them.
Do you think, Russ?
I'm all about branding too. I know we're kind of just boldly calling this Town Beach Party. It may not be resonating fully, so anybody has any ideas on branding, just get with Russ on this. That's actually what it's intended to be. We had the Harvest Moon Festival for the trifecta, and I think we just struck a chord. It was a beautiful day. It happened to be amazingly warm. It was a fantastic fire feature that we very proudly presented in the middle of that nice green grass that is brought back eventually. And with this concert series also cycling through the town beach, I think drawing everybody to the sea has some mystique. So again, loading you up, Russ. It's all on you to bring this. Okay, so we will jump over to last but not least, addition. Thank you. Sharon, Carol, do you folks have any updates?
We're still doing the POW, and that should be up on the website for September.
It is.
It is? Oh, okay.
As a fact, it doesn't list the
The date.
locations.
All the
Yeah.
locations?
I think I had the
The
location.
date is there as September 18th.
Okay, I guess I wasn't aware of the location by.
And-
Yeah, it's the same locations that they were
We
last
can
time.
give you a paper, we
Okay.
have it, so you can have
Perfect.
it. We can send it to you.
Yeah, the other thing I was questioning is when I was reading over the email that you sent, Kenny, who was we? And it's like, we've been working with the town to figure out how to maintain momentum for the monument.
I believe the committee.
And who is
The-
going to the town hall?
I don't know.
It's under your email that you had sent to us.
I'm sorry, I sent out a lot of emails.
Says,
Yeah, okay.
this is good evening, SKUSA 250 members, and then it talks about, unfortunately, the poll went one way, and then it's like, we've been working with the town to figure out how to maintain momentum.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just using that generally to say we being the committee, so it's not individuals.
Because you haven't discussed with us if we're even part of the monument committee. It's all been pushed back, everything's been set back to later, and the date is like 1/12 that we're supposed to possibly have a meeting.
I'm not sure what you're trying to get at.
Town council meeting, is that?
Oh, forgive me, gotcha, thank you. So thank you.
So we need to ask the town
Yes.
council, can we do the monument?
Thank you, so this is
We
Lake
want to
Range.
know where we're at.
Right, okay, so we is all of us. So my understanding is the council is not yet gonna take up the monument as a action item. That might also relate back to your earlier question, why are we meeting at this particular point in time? Why did we not, why weren't we successful on the poll? I had 3 meetings this week, including this one. We wanted to schedule the meeting this week so that we were prepared to be before the council on a yet-to-be scheduled meeting, but looking at past year's meetings, I think they met on the 13th, so we figured it would be the 12th or the 13th. So we specifically set up this meeting for this week so that we could talk things through and be ready to take an action and then send it through Terry to the council, to the manager, and say, this is what we talked about, this is what we want to do. But that being said, hold your breath for a moment. I understand the council isn't prepared to take this up as an action item on the 12th. But I think we should still talk this through. We should still caucus and figure out what we wanna do.
When would it be?
I don't know. I mean,
So
that's.
why
Is there a
problem?
reason why?
Yeah, there's a problem.
Specifically.
Today
why?
is the last day that you could have put it on the agenda, which would have been sometime before 4 o'clock this afternoon. They
Right.
accept it Wednesday before the next day, which is the 12th. The next day is 2 weeks after that, which is either the 26th or the 28th.
Right.
Okay, so when I watched the video, okay, you were there and my name was called out, Teresa's name was called out, and I just wanted to know what the scope of that was. Why was all that happening? We didn't know anything about it. We were planned to be there. We didn't know.
The last council, was it sometime in December, I saw that there was an agenda item for the committee, so I went, and I talked to the vice chair, and.
And Mr. Boardman.
Yes, so we went, because we didn't know what they were gonna say, and I wanted to be there. They ended up, town manager gave a quick report, and that was it. There was no discussion, no action. So that happened.
He said he called Teresa Tanzi. Who's talking to him? Are you talking to him?
I've talked to the town manager, sure,
Yeah.
I've talked to assistant town manager, I talked to a lot of people in
So
town.
you're presenting what we're doing to him?
Yeah, as the chair, sure, this is what the status of the committee is, this is where the work groups are, yeah.
So nothing's being followed up on ours because.
I think what we tried to do, I assume I gotta be careful of that now, right? So what I wanted to do, and in concert with Terry, is to make sure that we were queued up, this committee was queued up to talk about a monument and to be able to transfer that information to the council. I think we should still do that. We should do that tonight. And actually, that I think fulfills what John had asked me for the holidays, and make sure that we had the monument listed on the agenda. So that's why this monument is on the agenda. What happens after that? It goes into the, political void. It goes into staff work. They queue things up for the council. You folks know how this works, right?
So I would just want to bring to attention, first of all, I'd like to say that I appreciate having this meeting, this live stream. I really like that because it gives us a public, view of what we're doing, and it helps ensure the committee's work is clearly documented. The others, I haven't been able to secure any of the tapes. I've asked the town clerk several times, and she's not been able to get electronic confirmation. The other thing I'd like to just mention is that we three of us went to the CAF bar, and we came up with a plan just before, on the Saturday before that meeting. I don't remember the date of the meeting, but then we had this meeting, and then it was taken, we were supposed to all go, we had a plan to go before the town manager. And that's what we're trying to get to, is going before the town manager. We were gonna go, and then something happened where it was an internal review, and at that point in time, it was basically put on the back burner. And poor Terry had to announce that. I'm sorry you had to do that, Terry. But the information that was given was not correct. It was been proven that it was not correct. And we were taken off, voted by the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary from our position of leadership. We were off this committee for 2 months and 2 weeks or 73 days. And now we're trying to gain momentum, as you say. And so I just wanted to bring that to the table. Now we're going to try to build up this and try to get going again and have a monument under the guise of the 250 anniversary. We put hundreds of hours in this. We have been meeting as sub-work groups at least 12 times since the last time we met. We are doing enormous things, and then we need to speak. We need to be able to go to the town manager with you when you have this discussion, so we can present our point of view.
I think we just don't want to be pushed aside.
Yeah.
We want to move forward with constructive objectives and attempt to bring this thing to fruition, which we're all passionate about. So, I mean, our committee, speaking of our committee.
Yeah, no, so thank you. So I think we're aligned, and you can see, I got me thinking about the video. But
and say they.
That's supposed to be, that's supposed to be the way it is. It is we. So, this all being said, I want to know what you folks want to do, you folks being the work group, in terms of next steps. I think prior meetings, we've asked for some more detail, more information, we've given some feedback, and I don't think we have to rehash all that detail. We would like to go forward and understand what you want to do, and let's do it with a purpose of issuing some consensus through the committee, through Terry, to the town manager and council, so that they have something.
So why can't we get on the agenda? And why can't we have a small brief that sometimes is all sent out to town council to save time? They can't sit there and read a lot of materials, like at the meeting. And why can't some of the committee go and explain exactly the intensity of this program? And the purpose of it, that the site is there, the names are all not there, it's part of the history. These people paved the pathway through our town and our life for us. And that high school, Carolyn Hazard, put that monument there for a purpose because of the Hazard Elementary School. Generations of our families have gone to school there. That site is there. You put it out in West Kingston, someplace else. It's impertinent, and a core piece of our town is right there and was there because that's where a lot of the action of people walking by, driving by every day can view it, of every day of their lives if they like.
So I think to your point, I'm gonna put a positive spin on it. It's not why I can't, it's like, how can we? I think we can. So let's talk about it. We can have the open discussion about all the bits and pieces and details that you guys have worked on, the dozens of meetings, the hundreds of hours. We all see that, we know that. That information needs to be consolidated eventually, as you're pointing out. Council, they're juggling everything. So we might be out of the envelope for the formal placement of our update on the next council meeting. It doesn't mean that we can't go out there under public comment, right? So there's, I think, still an opportunity to appear before the next council meeting. But I think we're, and Sharon and Carol, with all due respect, I know that we have had conversations with conversation with the town manager. I think Luke Murray also has opined as well. And I think they have some ideas in terms of what the monument process should be. So I think, that all being said, we should just start the conversation. You guys should present, the work group should present, this is what we have, this is what we can come up with, this is what we want to do.
But we have
Let's
some
move forward.
photos of what it's going to be, okay?
That would be awesome.
No, I'm gonna put that there. Yeah, but you can go away, I can do it.
Do you need to hold something up, Sharon? while you-
Want me to help hold one end? Yes. We've got two photos in a large group. We like some cameras, you can see this, by the way. So the first one we have is what this is gonna look like.
You wanna come in here?
Yeah. Carol, camera can't see it.
A little closer.
So you gotta come closer to the
I know, I'm
camera.
moving.
Yeah. Sharon, they can't. Yeah, they can't.
This is the layout of it, and this has been sized, and it's exactly the way it would look, the size of it. You see where the position is, it's been positioned and sized. If you'll notice, this is it, this is a learning environment. We have the measurements, we're gonna get better with you here. This is a hand-carved eagle out of stone. This is westerly granite. It's the finest granite there is. One of the finest granite. It's in Gettysburg. It's all over New England. When we talk about the concept, it'll be a teaching situation. This mimics this monument, okay? And that's part of the historic preservation it has to have. It cannot be exactly like it, but it's got to be, it's got to be similar. As you notice, there's no basins here. There's nothing obstructing it. We've got some engineers that have looked at it. It's very minor, if anything. And we want to mirror the history. The history wants to mirror each other. So it's not an active segregation. We have all sorts of research showing where things like this have done all over. And in Philadelphia, there is a monument that is 100 years old, and it's next to the big monument, and it takes all the colored people, it says exactly, it was built in 29, who served in all the different wars. So this is very common to do something like this historically.
Sharon, can
And I can
interrupt
give you
just
at
for
least
one sec?
50.
Can I interrupt you just for one second?
Yes.
So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Libby and I teach at South Kingstown High School. So seeing this picture, I do think that this is really cool. Ever since COVID, our outdoor learning spaces have become a really popular thing. And I just think that, I don't know how many of you from South Kingstown are familiar with the equity audit that was recent, or the state's RIDE report card. But I just think that for our BIPOC students especially, like having recognition outside of the Hazard building, which again, if you're familiar with South Kingstown, high schools are coming and going, but that building has survived the test of time. So I think having a monument outside of it, in addition to the existing one like this, it would be really cool for our students. I mean, a lot of them have family members whose names would be put on here, who they might not even know about. So from that perspective, as the teacher standpoint, I do think that this is something that our teachers could use, and I think that there's a lot of value in that.
And can I add to that, Max Scott, Dr. Max Scott, who is a native Narragansett person, who is going to be one of our speakers. He has actually developed a curriculum, an indigenous curriculum, which will start being taught at the university. And also, there's a talk about possibly bringing it into the high school, so we would have a curriculum at the high school that actually could use this as a teaching situation. Okay, we'll have to say more about that, and we've got more reasons why this should be there. The other thing we have is a more close-up of this. And this is the actual size. Point it that way.
You got it.
Okay, and you can see the way the names are written. There'll be space left for 10 years from now. If we find more, we can actually write it on there. The reason is it's expensive for the lettering because it's round. When things are sandblasted straight, they kind of set a press up and go into it. Each one is individually inscribed, and we want this because it mimics the other monument. This is solid granite. It'll look beautiful. We're also going to put from 1776 to 2026 on there, so we'll have our mark as that's our mark. The only tangible thing we have right now that we're leaving left over from this activity, we don't have a rabbit, we don't have a coin, but we do have a monument, okay? And this is going to be tangible, and it's actually going to be stamped and say when it happened, okay? And so this is my favorite thing because the man that's doing this actually bought this in an auction, and if we had to buy it, what it would be cost us now, a hand carved out of stone eagle. It's just amazing, and I loved his design. I think it's wonderful, and these are going to be alphabetically in order. We're going to mimic exactly the way the other one is. We cannot put that other plaque on. Is this enough? Have we done enough of this?
Yep.
Well, you can just show them for the granite.
Oh, yeah. We cannot put, I have a statement about that too. We cannot put, you want to take this? We cannot put the plaque on that monument. And we talked about the last time, this is a cement monument. And the town spent $33,000 in 1918 to restore it. And we've got pictures right here at the visible deterioration at the top. If you'd like to pass those around of the structure, photographs are available. Given the historic importance of this memorial, we believe it's important that its current condition be acknowledged as part of what we're doing right now, as part of our recognition to historical preservation and military preservation. So that's what it looks like right now, and that's after 33,000. So it's not recommended at all. We have the research, extensive research from conservators and everything that said you're not going to touch that thing, okay? So there was some suggestions about that. Okay, so this is not the only part of our program, this monument. But this project is well advanced. We currently are in the process of reviewing established and appropriate nonprofit fiscal support to serve this conduit for pledged donations. So far, the town has not given us a dime. And when I asked for the grant, they said, is this going to cost us anything? I said, no. we've got a lot of donors that are very interested and want to be part of this. We just figured if we'd run it through a nonprofit, and, you know, Overby's, he's a nonprofit. I'm not sure if you can do something from out of town like that, but we are talking to many nonprofits. If we can get the conduit, we have got the money to build this monument, okay? And the Teresa Tansey, which it's the grant that I told her the story, and she says, well, apply for it. I had 4 days to put it in before it closed down. Well, that money is earmarked, and I've talked to their secretary, and their secretary said, when you put it in, it'll take about 3 or 4 weeks to get it. But the longer you push it back, the longer it takes. And then, you know, they start the session over again. So that's another part that's involved in it. So I think that there's people here that want to talk about why they want this monument there. Okay, so if anybody would like to say
Yeah,
why.
I will, and I'm gonna read something so I don't miss anything, but admittedly, my family's lived in South Kingstown for over 350 years.
You gotta say louder though.
Well before the Revolutionary War. That's just a fraction of the time others in this town have been here. Namely hundreds, if not thousands, of residents that have Narragansett blood. Huge. Generations of my family have attended South Kingstown High School system, and many of my ancestors have defended this country in wars of freedom. Someday I hope my grandchildren and my grandchildren's grandchildren will be able to see and touch something we've achieved in 2026 that will remind them of our everlasting gratitude to all those men, not just the men that are on the present monument, but all those men that fought for our freedom in the Revolutionary War. I believe the companion monument is that answer. So that's my contribution.
Alongside of what David has said, many of us have generations of family that were here before this town was even settled, before it was a town. I just feel that everybody should be recognized. It shouldn't be a monument to the Hazards, the Perrys. Unfortunately, when this comes up, you're gonna have the same names on there anyway. So it doesn't matter whether they were of this or of that. It's just recognizing as a whole, and I think that is one of the big issues with this country right now. It's them and this whole separation has always been there, but why continue it when you can recognize everybody? It doesn't have to be a separate, but it can be acknowledged. And I feel like everyone needs to be represented. I don't think that a lot of people are, no matter who they are. I just feel like as a whole, and as small as this town is, many of the younger people don't even know about the skirmish that was here or how this all came about, whether these stone buildings were built by Native people, Black people. They don't know these things, and I think this as a whole, even through the teaching in the schools, it will solidify our community the way it was when we grew up here. And I think that's what we're missing here now, because there are so many different people here. They don't understand what it was like growing up here when it was a small town.
Right
A
here.
real small town.
Right here in
And you
Village.
knew everybody.
We all were here.
So if you were in trouble, your parents knew before you got home.
Yes, they
You know, it really, I think this is a very good teaching element for those who are newbies to this town, and to understand culturally how this developed as a town. That's just my piece.
And it helps people who want to that way to recognize
Well, and to look and say, hey, you know, that was, you know.
I mean, I think we need to honor those who fought for the country. I think we need to honor those who came from South Kingstown and fought for the country, no matter what your
No matter
name
who
was.
they are.
And no matter who you are, because it was about us. It wasn't about you and you, it was about us
Yeah.
as a community.
And I think that's what we're missing now, is
Telling the
we
full
don't
story.
have that us and we.
Right.
We always were we.
That's right, and Ken knows we.
Yeah.
You know,
word of the day.
I just want to say, I was asked if I would be interested in coming on the committee, and the one thing that they were talking about was the monument. And that's why I came. I'm passionate about it. I'm ready to write a check to help pay for it. I think the families of the people that fought for the town and for the country deserve to have this monument. I think going next as a companion monument is a good spot for it. It's great for the school because they can use it as a teaching area. And being made of granite, that will be here longer than the one that's currently sitting there, because the one that's there will deteriorate because it's made of concrete.
Right.
So I think this is a fabulous thing to do for our kids, our grandkids, and their grandkids.
And we just want the town
And,
to approve
you know,
it so we can-
be proud to see that built.
Okay, all right, sorry, yeah, Debbie, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm not a naysayer because nobody believes more passionately that people of color, enslaved populations, Native Americans need to be recognized. But I'm gonna ask questions about the monument because I also do grants all the time. And as you're presenting, I think it's excellent, but I had some questions that came up specifically about the grant funding. Or the funding and creation of this monument is probably. Sharon, you've talked about, and everybody's talked about, say your name, about collecting grant money. Who are you collecting it under? Is it under this committee? Is it a separate organization? Is
No.
it maybe a promise of money? I just don't understand where the money is coming or going to.
No, she applied for one through Tansy, so it's here, but we don't have a monument committee. It's, has to be finished, but we don't know where we're going because we keep getting pushed back.
Okay, got it. So the grants, I'm gonna say semi-approved, because it's not 100% approved until it can go somewhere. Okay, I just am, I'm one of those kind of people who have to think, oh, feel like I'm like, where's the money going? Yeah.
Because at the meeting last time, when it was agreed, it was an agreement, it wasn't a motion, and I think we need to make motions now. Is that Kenny would go, we asked him to go on our behalf. We thought it was gonna be the next one, we were all gonna go, and, you know, and we thought that at that point in time, we get the approval. Once we say this is a project, okay? Then we can roll with the money, okay? But we can't take the money from Teresa Tansey.
I got it.
And the state legislature, until this town says this is a project, it has not been approved. Because the last time, Terry, when you wrote your letter, and you said that, first of all, it was the construction, it was all about the construction. Well, we knew ahead of time, and we had talked to the school committee and everybody else, we knew that was not a problem, okay, but that was a problem. And there was, he says in his thing, the lack of funding, and it's gotta be fully funded. How can you be fully funded when it's not a project? That's my thing, right, that's where we're at, it's like a catch-22. And we have people, we have big pockets. Like he just said, I don't know how big your pocket is. But we have
I have small pockets. I'm ready. I'm ready to write a check smaller than John's.
So could I suggest, I mean, is this a suggestion, one of the things you mentioned that I think would be a great idea, to start under this committee, certainly, but this committee is it's got an end date, that I would also pursue your nonprofit, because even if you're building, yeah, I would do that side by side. Good, thank you, I couldn't think of the word, you like my side by side kind of thing.
It's going we're going full.
I think that's a great idea.
5%.
The other question I
We're
have.
zooming, he was, that one we're zooming with,
Yeah.
we've been zooming with DC for I don't know how long, you know.
I think that's
So-
your best bet. The other question I had is on the design's great. Where did it come from? Who approved it? And blah 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 about the design. I love it. I just wondering where it came from. Who approved
Originally,
it?
it was gonna be a boulder, but then
Okay.
putting a plaque on the boulder, it wouldn't look good next to it. So then we started going back, looking at the historical
expense was
aspect
huge.
of
Yeah.
it and trying to keep in that same content.
Mhm.
So that's how.
Okay. And how did the design that Sharon and you showed, the monument with the eagle,
Went to
who
Buzzy.
Buzzy Memorials in Stonington, Connecticut.
who approved it for the town though? Did the
We
town?
haven't.
It hasn't been.
Oh, okay, that's what, okay, I got it. All right, I'm slow. I worked all day. I'm tired
that's
and
what we're
I'm
moving
I needed
for.
more. Okay, I got
We're
it.
moving toward that.
Okay, sorry. Sorry if the
Last
risk.
time we threw details out there, it went like.
Okay, yeah, risk to being duh here. I got you now. I got it. I'm like, I'm not
If I
getting
can
this.
add to that, so when
Proposed.
Thank you.
Sharon, Karen, and I met at Cap Bar, I was there to share the experiences on the 300th, where I committed to a process. Had no idea, you call it the rabbit, yeah, it's a rabbit, it's a star, right?
Crazy.
So that's what I knew, and then we did it just a year and a half earlier. I committed to a process. I am what they call a technocrat, I'm a bureaucrat, I'm also technically oriented as a professional engineer. So I blend those two skill sets together, and I was there sharing, hey, this is what we did over here. It's gonna take a year and a half. That didn't resonate well, so we came up with some, we figured it was an opportunity, a thin opportunity for the town to kind of look at a sole source. I think that gets to your point, Debbie, how does the town interact with this? I mean, we gotta
Yeah,
route
okay.
everything. If we don't have the 501c3 set up, we gotta route through the town. They got rules, they got regulations.
That's what I was thinking.
We're gonna go with the,
Go the
Yeah,
other way.
And I think what I'm hearing is that there was an inadvertent miscommunication between parties. Everything that's been said tonight, I'll say we have all concurred with. We know there's a need for parity. There's a hole in the town, and it's so glaringly obvious when you look at the original memorial. Why aren't they there? What were they thinking? We know now that it needs to be made whole. So we're behind you on this. I think it's going to be easy for us to get consensus, take a vote, have a motion to support this moving forward. And I would advise the group, because of my technocrat nature, and I've worked with 3 registered architects, 4 registered engineers. We are horrible. We can't go home and communicate to the people that we love because we carry that burden. But we see little glitches and processes that you should follow and consider. Please don't misinterpret it. We're trying to help focus our efforts, your efforts. But that all being said, I'm gonna take a back seat and listen to what you wanna do, and let's
well,
move
can
this
I
forward.
respond to that? Because we've included all that when we're talking to these nonprofits. We're talking about landscaping, we're talking about engineering, whatever. We're talking, but it's not to the scale, it's not, see, when you saw that first thing, there was this, it was out of scale. It was sitting over in a drainage ditch, whatever that thing is. Okay. And so we couldn't go any further, because of the perception of what it was. And I'm not blaming anybody for that, but it stopped. So we know now, because we've consulted with people who are giving us their free what is it called, pro bono? Engineers, people like that who said, that's not gonna be a problem. They're talking about drainage, We've gone up, physically gotten on ladders and measured, actually gotten up on the monument and measured. We have the measurements of the monument. That's how we got the scale correct. And so, we plan to have all that, we'll have all that, and we've got it, really, we've got all that, but we've gotta pay for it. And in order to pay for it, to have all, you want a set of specs. We don't know about the horse before the cart before the horse. What I'm saying, somebody's saying, you gotta have it fully funded, and I'm saying, well, we gotta have an okay to go in this position and say, okay, you go ahead, and the commitment is you'll pay for it, because that's what you're saying, we're gonna pay for it. The town isn't giving us a dime, not one dime. This committee isn't giving us a dime.
We need to be recognized
Sure.
as a
So-
bona fide.
401, you need to, yeah.
To this collective point, and just for context again, I was under duress asked to prepare a budget. You remember I came in at 180,000. It was at the end of a long budget meeting. They kicked me out and said, nope, cut it back, so we have our $33,000, dollar budget. At that point in time, we hadn't, developed the concept for the monument. So when you say the town hasn't given us time, the town didn't know about it. So now we're at the point where we know about it. Everybody knows this is an important monument, we need to get it done. So I think you should think about the motion that we'll take tonight. Do you want to commit yourself to a process? Do you want to commit yourself to 501c3? Like, how deep do you want to go with this motion? Because you have a great concept, but it isn't fully vetted yet. And I think you should just figure out.
You say don't do it nonprofit?
No, I would do.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
it. Commit to that.
I'm talking to myself.
We need some.
You want the endorsement, I believe, of, the committee endorses it. You'll get our full endorsement with the vote. So this, pretend like you're interfacing directly with the council. What do you want to tell the council?
So how does it work if we are part of the committee still? We would not be if we did nonprofit because of the monies went funneled through the town?
That's all of how you see this. We are a term limited ad hoc committee. We will expire on December 31st of this year.
Right.
So we don't want to inadvertently start petitioning the council for things directly through this committee when we're going to expire. But I don't think that should prohibit us from starting and telling them, hey, we're starting now, but we have every intention within 9 months of creating a nonprofit or something of that.
Because we need the approval of the site from the council to even be able to move forward with anything.
Absolutely.
If we raise money, we get this, what good is it? We
I'm
need
with
the
you on this,
approval.
and there's a finance director, there's, a solicitor that are gonna get called in, they're well beyond our committee's capacities. But I think, again, synthesizing those salient points, we need to do a monument, we all concur 110%. We know why it needs to go, where it needs to go. The teacher over here mentioned this, and that makes perfect sense. Pulls the next generations in perpetuity. So just think about it. Synthesize what you want the council to endorse. And we will pitch it to them as an official motion of the committee, and then it'll be up to them, and you know how this is gonna go. They're gonna nod their heads, I'm sorry, YouTube land, the council's gonna nod their heads, and they're gonna look back at the town manager and say, all right, do what they want, or something, and then the manager's gonna reach back out, and we'll have to wrestle with whatever guidance they give us.
So you're looking.
It feels like, what's bona fide is your concept. You can clearly say, we have a concept to build a memorial to memorialize the enslaved indigenous populations that were, for whatever reason, left off that original monument, and it should be at the Hazard School. That should be an easy lift. And you're seeking guidance from the council as far as a legal structure to raise funds and to go through the permitting process and to install it.
There it is. There it is. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Somebody write that down.
Yeah, I mean,
Is there a second?
Nobody's
Very
gonna
good,
obstruct it, so when you have that motion taken, it's a matter of the committee, and we'll transmit this to Terry, to the manager and the council, they'll have it, ball's in their court. The town manager is the one that has to authorize grant applications. So this is how we'll loop him back in.
And this will give us the opportunity to apply for grants, because when the town doesn't even approve it, we can't apply for grants. And the 501(c) can't apply for grants either, because we don't have approval from the town. We don't have a place.
So we're looking to make a motion right now,
Yes.
right?
Town council.
Capsulize what you just said. Anybody can do that? Anybody?
I think you can do that, David.
Somebody else can do it. I wish we had a playback,
I know.
Well-
because that was a perfect
It was.
verbiage.
Do you want to repeat it one more time, Ken?
So we are going to, we have full consensus of the committee to memorialize enslaved indigenous populations that fought in the Revolutionary War and were left off the original monument at the Hazard School. And we seek guidance and support from the council and the town manager's office for legal and technical advice to effectuate this monument.
But there's one
Is that a
little
motion?
catch in there. Yeah, wait a minute, little catch. It's not just people who fought
Right.
in the Revolutionary War. We have got people who protected this town, okay? We got people who were like in the militia, there's all kinds of militias.
That's considered fighting.
That are on-
That's okay, though.
That's
That's
okay.
considered,
It's all-
that's
yeah,
all
it's
considered.
all
You could be, you could have been a shot.
Do we second that?
A Revolutionary
Do
War
we-
patriot.
Exactly.
Can we use that word, a Revolutionary War patriot?
Did you make a motion? Was that a motion?
That is a motion.
That was a motion.
I second it.
Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Anybody opposed?
I have just one little opposed thing. What concerns me is, again,
The funding,
the funding is the fact that when this committee is done, and it could not be a concern, I wouldn't call it a comment. When this committee is done, if you don't have the money and don't have anything, are you done?
No.
No.
So it's a question, it's not a motion, it's our thought, it's
That's
a
why they're
question.
going for the nonprofit.
And if
Well,
you,
yeah, but I didn't hear the nonprofit in the,
Yeah, we need we need.
the nonprofit wasn't in the
That's gotta be
motion.
Yes, it was.
And, well,
Guidance for the nonprofit.
So,
No,
forgive
it's
me, let
guidance
me
for legal
replay,
authority,
the
too.
discussion here. So to the collective points here, so the motion was to seek guidance for the legal and financial structure. So embedded in that is 501c3. It could be that the town's like, you know what, we have an obligation to maintain these
I vote yes then.
monuments, and we're not doing it right now. They need to figure that out. They need to get back with us while we are still here, and then the we might transfer it to a 501c3. But queuing this up specifically for the council, this, I think that, I can't imagine that they would. try to comply with that.
And not, okay, so we seconded that motion.
We have a final yay.
I yayed
It's-
it, I
think
yayed it.
it's
Now that I
unanimous.
just needed to understand, it's not my thing, I don't know how the town council runs
Could
and
I
all
just
that.
make a positive comment? Why don't we think that the town will say, we will give you the money for it?
If they do, they do.
Possibility. That's a possibility.
Once they wrap their head around the.
And her desk.
It's a necessity.
Good point, because it's on the land of the indigenous,
Yeah.
and you say it all the time before your meeting.
I'm happy.
So I'm just gonna, for the record, so it was a unanimous endorsement of the entire committee. So we can still have to, just random discussion, that motion is done. Does that meet your expectations and needs? Okay.
Just a clarification myself,
Oh, boy.
for myself, please. These names, are they not spanning the whole 250 years of our nation? Or is it only geared towards the Revolutionary War?
Get the Revolutionary
No,
War monument.
let me explain that monument, okay? That monument was built by Carolyn Hazard in 1932 for World War I veterans and deaths, okay? Then it's so big, there's 260, I've been studying this monument for 15 years. Then it was so big, they said, okay, and they put it, they said, let's start Revolutionary War, and then it goes to the.
War of 1812.
And then it goes to the Spanish-American War, then it goes to the Civil War. Even though we've got all the ones that are dead on the monument over in Riverside on Soda State, every veteran that fought from this village is there. And then, then World War I. So the people, I know for a fact, there's people in the Daughters of the American Revolution that didn't even know those names were on there. That's how much has been forgotten, okay? So there's 107 people. And I'm gonna say that they had record keeping that was different there. They didn't recognize a lot of things. You don't know what was going on. It was very quickly done. So the point is these people were left off. All we're doing is correcting an error in history. That's what you gotta look at it like. That's what we're doing. And it's our town, it's our people, and it's way overdue.
Sharon, I understand all that. My question is,
Will new people be added?
what is the time frame that the new monument spanning? Is it spanning the 250 years of our nation? Or because in the discussions, it was identified Revolutionary War. To me, that means segregated just for that war, not the whole span of 250.
Right, but what I was trying to put was that the people who actually got out and went to the first, we're gonna have it separated out, people who fought in the 1st Continental, 1st Regiment, people who were in the militia. There's all kinds of people that were involved in the Revolutionary War, but not necessarily, and they had different, it's like they had different roles.
So the monument is just for that period?
Just for that period.
Okay, that's the point I was trying, that was the question I was asking. So it's only for that period, nothing after,
Yeah.
No.
I'm not talking Vietnam. Nothing after,
Nothing
after that
No,
time
and it
period.
says the name of it is Brave Men
Has ever fought.
Has Ever Fought.
Okay.
And it is the name of a painting that a person saw the first Rhode Island, walked down the road in Philadelphia, and it was on display at the courthouse. And when they walked down the road in Philadelphia, there was a man of color standing there, and in his diary, he's 65 years old, he commented on what these people, this regiment looked like. And so we named this monument after that, okay? That's what it is. So it has nothing to do with any other war.
Sorry, Sharon, I'm wondering, is there a copyright on that painting? Are you allowed to use the same title?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's who I'm working with, is all those people.
My other question, I was curious who the picture was on the monument that you have there.
Oh, it's just a dummy one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a dummy
What it
one.
was is this guy does memorials, police memorials, he's a memorial specialist, and they put the icon on it where you can hit it with your, phone.
Yeah.
That can be gone, so we're not doing it. But they did that, when he drew it, he put that in there.
Sorry, I have all these questions. So now you see where we're at. Now we need to get the ball rolling. We need to get on the town council's agenda. So who is going to do that, and when will that occur so we can get moving? Because when it should be
Should have been
known
done today.
that every time we're sitting here, we're losing grant money. And also, at the end of the 250th, it should be made well-known, documented somewhere, that this will not stop, that it will continue until it's up there.
I mean, the last piece, I hear you. I think putting our best foot forward, to your exact point, we'll have meeting minutes drafted, reflecting the resolution. I'll get it to Terry and the town manager. We're probably outside the envelope as far as posting, but we do have the ability to speak during public comment.
That's what I'd like to pursue.
And to this point, I think we should have a
Monday.
good showing. Should have a good showing at the Monday meeting. I don't know the reconfiguration of the council agenda. When does public hearing happen?
I'm not positive, but I will just make a point, is that the council cannot take any action
No,
on
but
a
they can hear.
communication, but they can hear. I just wanted to clarify that, so that the following meeting.
And we'll get up and we each get 3 minutes.
I'm not sure where public comment is right now.
Because it's been,
on the agenda.
I think it's
once
sooner
a
than
minute.
later, yeah. I
Yes,
think-
they do a
To
30-minute,
get it over and done with.
Right.
so.
Terry, at that point, can't you ask them when you can be put on the next agenda to be heard to move forward?
Yeah, that'll go in the minutes
Yeah.
of this meeting, and if this body is saying as soon as possible, that's the next town council meeting.
Right, and
We can't get it on the next one.
Well, it'd
I
be the
mean,
one
the
after that.
second
Yeah.
meeting in
Let me
January.
tell you a little story, okay, about all this backup that's happened, okay? I was supposed to be home, I'm turning my house into I've got my Rhode Island plates, I was gonna bring them in. I just got my plates, okay? So I've got a home down there, and I've got, this is off the record, but, I've got to turn.
Live stream, nothing live stream.
What she's saying is she's staying up there trying to get this done, and she needs to get that done.
I want the people here to know that I've been here, and I was supposed to go home at Thanksgiving, and I'm staying here because of the agenda and I know exactly, and I was hoping we could get on today.
So to support the collective points here, and you had mentioned that the window's closing as far as getting legislative grants in, so.
No, we've already got it. It's just like, when I talked to the people who are distributing it, they said if you could get it in by the 15th, then you could get 3 weeks. If we get it in by the 30th, then, if we could get it in, we can get the money.
So my point was going to be, quid pro quo is that the town manager endorses and submits the grant applications on our behalf. So I'm not sure, are we in the envelope? Even if the council can't take an action, if we're there on Monday, if we render our motion, do you think the town manager might be able to act on our behalf in good faith to submit legislative grant applications?
I can't speak for the town manager, but what I will say is, the application would have to have some stipulation that this is pending final authorization from the town council, some language that would.
Which is on the agenda for the next town
Which is
Well, that's not my call, so, but.
Actually-
It was just to call up and get on the agenda as long as I got it by Thursday, but I got by it Wednesday.
Sharon, I thought you got permission to put grants in, sorry, it's me.
No,
So you could put grants in from the May town council meeting? I thought they granted you permission to put in for grants.
who?
The town council.
I did. I put 8,000 in. I mean, we got 16,000 altogether.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's more grants out there.
But I think you have carte blanche to do grants because of that May town council meeting. They basically said, yes, you
So
can,
that's a question you'd have to ask. I don't know. I didn't think we did.
no, but I think you do because I think at the May town council, you asked if you could apply for grants and they just said, yes, you can apply for grants. So,
They did.
Open up a
But-
door of.
Clarification.
It was
saying
this
have
grant.
permission.
I
Where does it go?
Yes. Saying that.
And I think, again, based on the other grants we've applied for, we typically route those to the town manager's office. So you queue up the grants, you send them to Terry, and, I don't think there's anything that this committee would be averse to in terms of content of the grant. I think the grant folks are going to ask you questions, like, how did you procure this, how are you gonna maintain it, who's the artist, all that stuff. So that's really kind of on
Which
you
is
folks.
there.
And where does the money go? So am I gonna give you $15,000?
Well, see,
Whose bank
that's-
account does it go
that's
into?
the thing.
The town is the fiduciary.
Yes.
Right? So right
Mhm.
now, at least for the next 11 months, the town's the fiduciary. Our motion has asked to kind of get legal and financial advice.
But if we get money through the 501(c), okay, they will be the conduit, and it will go to them, and then we've got to have an agreement. When we get, whoever this is, we have an agreement before this agreement process, before the town, between the town and them, and the town has to accept it.
And I think so we're starting to trickle into the complexities of why this just
Yeah.
didn't lurch forward.
Right.
So I'm really happy that the committee just has full concurrence on supporting this.
Me too.
And
We can start
have
helping.
full-time town employees that can do this, that are dedicated on the financial and legal side. So let's let them wrestle with it.
so Ken, do we need like a detailed email kind of proposal that we can send to the town manager and the town council in advance?
I'm gonna get with Kate after this and just go over the meeting minutes, and we'll capture this specific motion as a priority, so that can get tendered over to Terry and the town manager, and then he can share it with the
But I'm
council.
thinking from the monument group, if we would have a detailed proposal that talked about, they want to have 503C, this is the artist, and this is what what.
We've
got all that.
I'm
We've got
confident
detail.
that this work group can take this and run with it. So I think this committee's, like, we inadvertently start tripping over ourselves, because we got folks that are veterans, we got folks that are engineers, architects, and we start weighing in. I think there's miscommunication. We're not trying to hold this back. We want to support this. I think it's easier for the committee just to fully endorse this, let you interface with the town, professional staff.
They can give us some
and you
guidance.
guys can
And
then
then once
work.
you jump down.
And we'd like to, once you guys do come up with whatever you're gonna come up with, we'd like to review it.
So,
We're not-
all I'm gonna do is take the motion
Right.
and send that out.
Right, but you can send it to us.
I can.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
All right, okay, so we're done with that, the monument?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Well, we just started.
No, we're not. No, I just wanted to say that, we have this responsibility to do, we're doing this, documentation of the Revolutionary War patriots that serve South Kingston, and whether they're we're finding burial sites in New York and Vermont, okay, so it's not just here, so we had to change that scope a little bit, okay? We've got family records, we've got people, and we're actually reaching out to the community for input on this. Just have these meetings we're having, all these people sitting at this table are related. I mean, I'm telling you.
Pretty much so.
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely.
And, anyway, so this includes, we were doing documentation, photography, story collection, public record building. We actively invite the community for assistance, and we're getting letters, personal materials. I just wanted to make that's one part of, you said this is the military recognition committee. It's not just the monument. We're doing this too. we have photographers, and I emailed you about putting, did you ever?
It's on there.
It
On
is?
the website.
Okay, so.
I'm sorry, I was out.
No, that's what we assumed. We
Yeah.
said, give her a break. She has, and so what we're trying to do is get volunteers at this point in time. And people are coming to us saying, oh, I'd like to. So we need help with all the scouts, et cetera. All right, the war commemoration effort. This is something that we are not including the monument, the new monument, because it won't be there. So our event is more like a commemoration, and I updated the one you asked for, that you sent. I've updated it. We have an event. Let's see if I got it here, and I will send you a copy of this. But we were working right up to the 0 hour getting this out. But this is our event name. It's everything that we're doing at the event. We're getting down to the details. So if anybody'd like to pass that around, that'll be good. And that's part of it. That's only one part. We've got 4 parts. And it'll be held at the 1932 Flagstaff Memorial at the Historic Hazard School. We had the 2018 commemoration of the World War I right there. And we had the governor, we had state officials, it was huge, and we had it right there. It's still okay to have it there, okay? And it says to be announced, determined. I would like to get a commitment from this committee that say that we can have our event there. I started when this all stopped. I was talking to the superintendent of schools, his secretary. We had the whole thing going. I talked to the police chief. I did all the work that you said in your event plan to do. Everything he was concerned about construction trailers, just to tell you the truth. So we did all of that background work, and then it stopped. Okay, so we want to be able to say, and I know you were a little concerned at first about having that event there. I think it's a wonderful place to have the event. It's got the parking. It's going to be in the summertime. There's no construction there, and it's the most appropriate place to have it. And we can announce there, if we want to, that we're going to, if we can get a monument, if everybody agrees, we can announce at this point in time. Look forward to a monument, because we may have it by the end of, our goal is now get it by the end of the year, which could happen. But if we don't, we can still commemorate the people that are going to be on the new monument. That's what's going on there. All right, is that okay with everybody? We understand that? I also said that it was going to have our, do that, okay? Okay, and the last, you already talked about the MOW. So we got 4 things. We got POW, MIA, we got an event going on, we have a monument, and we have the documentation and the Patriot recognition, and we have the POW, MIA tables. That's a lot. And I will tell you, now I gotta wait till February to go home. I call it home. We'll go back there and try to maintain. Okay.
Is there anything that you need from the committee for these other events, Sharon?
Yeah, but I think that'll happen when we get closer. I mean, we're talking, right now, we got a lot of students, a lot of URI students working with us on this. So this is, oh, and I would like to make you this one, the girl who did, the honor student who did most of the research that would go into Providence, because she lived there, and she'd go to the state archives, and she did all this research. She's brilliant. She found out that she was a member of, was she a Narragansett? She found out her parents. Wow. She I don't want it, I've got a lot to do, and she did the research, and she found out she was a Narragansett. Well, it's changed her, because she was living in Providence. She had no idea. And so this is like, oh my God, it's just wonderful. So I'm very excited about this. So this has been my life right here. And I'm just very glad that this committee decided to turn around and jump on this, and we're gonna get it done.
I must be the only person that has
Okay.
no idea what you're talking about. Like, I missed the last meeting. Is this I don't know, like, we're saying event, I don't know what the event is. I'm literally trying to go through my notes. I'm like, can we
We had an event, and you're new in that. And another thing, by the way, we have adopted
hoping
Robert
we would
Rules
have,
of
like, a
Order
mock
also.
Wednesday.
Yes. And we're gonna have a ceremony at the monument, and we're gonna have all these people that did the research. And what's so funny is the speakers that they are pulling in, and the librarian is pulling in, are people all involved around the monument. It's all sucked into the.
I got it.
Same thing.
Sorry. I was like, Sharon's talking about event. I was
No,
like,
that's fine.
I know what she's talking about.
So I'm just gonna,
Okay.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
On the part of you that's nearly.
Cranberry averages.
When I go home, let me tell you.
Thank you, Ken.
Oh, no,
Thank you.
no, listen,
And
you
thank
guys
you,
have been doing all the.
everybody.
Oh, gosh, it's like,
Kind of that whole, trying to get over certain hurdles
And keep.
to get to where you need to be.
Sure.
So, I mean,
Thank you, this is the events work groups, I'm remiss in not mentioning or not having as an agenda item, the library, so I know there's a 50th state program where they're going to.
We are planning to have the copy of the Rhode Island Declaration of Independence displayed at the Kingston Free Library.
Nice.
Yay.
So, that will, I believe,
Wasn't that the State House at one time?
June 20th. It's not confirmed
But
yet.
possible, but,
Possible.
okay.
And that would be, because we were one of the original 5 state houses, so they're trying to do that at all the original state houses.
And Chloe, I read the whole thing on I read that whole.
Oh, yeah,
Very nice. And we started that over at the Capitol, featured that library before it was ever part of the committee.
Okay, let me go over to budget. So our budget is still intact. Again, I don't think we've had many expenses at all. We just talked about the skirmish event. John and Karen are very miserly in regard to the speaker series. That's great. We talked about the grants that Sharon and Karen will be applying for, as previously ordained through the town manager and the town council meeting in May. Communication with legislators, I mean, they're all our legislators. We talk to them all the time. It's not an issue. If we're going to commit ourselves to the request, it's kind of a standing order. It's just make sure we're communicating together so that I don't think anybody's going to be at cross purposes at this point. I think we're all dialed in with our budgets. It's clear that the monument is going to need some support. So at this point, I'm thinking if we're talking with legislators about funding or grants, it's probably going to be for the monument. It could be a supplement to the 4th of July, but everything should eventually be flowing through Terry, the town manager's office anyway, so. So just keep talking with our legislators, but we can't overcommit ourselves without the town liaison. Community outreach, again, folks, I had a great holiday. I'm sorry, I talked to my family quite a bit, and you know, I haven't done a ton of outreach. I have met on several occasions, again, with the Kingston Reds up at the Nathaniel Green Homestead, down in the skirmish, but I haven't been active elsewhere in the community. I keep saying this, if anybody has family, friends, contacts in Charlestown, North Kingstown, or Narragansett, we should probably buddy up with them as we're now going into our actual event mode, so we're not at cross purposes. Does anybody else have any comments on the budget or the community outreach component? I do want to talk quickly about marketing. Again, Chloe's did a fantastic job with the website. She's starting our social media presence. I know Dave Gates had been pushing me to make sure we get the word out. It's go time now, right? So next week, a week from now, Debbie will be up at the high school doing the first speaker series discussion. And following that is the skirmish, and then some more speaker series events thereafter. And John, I'll get back to you. I did talk with Dave Marcassini and Brady Mitchell from Kingston Reds. They have some issues with one of their staff being at EMS training school, so that's why they weren't able to get the February. I did want to mention that I did ask Terry to take a look at basically getting stickers. It sounds kind of hokey, but we've got a pretty amazing, let's see if I can pull it up here, graphic for our program. And this, as we're talking about the library, excuse me, 1 minute. So this graphic has a Kingston Free Library, one of the original state houses here, but it's also featuring the Rhode Island 1st Regiment cover. So going back honestly, before we even had a budget, we started spitballing. And we knew that there was a need to, highlight the Black indigenous populations in Rhode Island. That is a focal point on a sticker that we're trying to, get quotes on, so we can start handing out things, kids, whatever. Hopefully they're not gonna put on things where they shouldn't. But the point is that we're starting to ring a bell, right? And we want people to get familiar with that cover and the Kingston Free Library. We're gonna hold a speaker series next week. We're gonna have the skirmish. We're gonna feature the Round First Regiment reenactors, okay? That should get people thinking about this. They get a higher degree of familiarity with what we're trying to do, which is another segue back to Carol and Sharon in terms of your fundraising and your activities to get this monument up and running. I don't think there's a strong enough connection to those Revolutionary War heroes that were not, included on that original monument. So I think things are starting to all, pull together here. That's all I had for marketing, social media. I did want to talk, Carol, to your earlier point about the next meeting and how we set up the meetings. Yes, I'm sorry, Chloe. Yes.
Sorry for the marketing. Maybe you guys want to consider using, when we post on Facebook, you can add their push. Facebook will push it out to people who aren't following the town's websites, and you can select a fence of an area you'd like to target, and it can cost anywhere from 75 cents to $5. So if that's something you guys want to consider in your marketing budget, they claim you can get up to however many views you want your post to get, they'll help you get there with pushing it out. So that's something that you guys could consider for a small purchase.
Thank you, and to support that, I would strongly encourage that. That's why we set up the marketing budget. We've been very successful doing Oktoberfest and Endless Summer and other local events, and it's short money, and it does capture the attention of the local public that do raise on social media. Yes.
I just have a question. So do we have the dates for every event that's going to take place and where they are? Because I'm thinking, if you're getting people to coming in as speakers and congregating these events, if you had a sheet of paper just to remind them through the year of all these other events, it would keep them in tune of what's going on and not knowing there's just one or two events.
Everybody doesn't do social media.
No, they don't.
We,
They don't.
For the 300th, we had bookmarkers that had the list of all the activities.
But we can definitely do a flyer that just does the flyer.
Well, you're capturing some audiences already, so you might as well keep the ball
And we
rolling.
can take them to the historical societies.
Yeah, we can develop this. We'll develop that.
Okay, so thank you. That marketing budget is active. It's been previously endorsed, so I'm entrusting the disbursement of those funds to Terry and Chloe as you see fit. So I think we've got two active promotions. It's the speaker series as well as the skirmish. So, please do, there's obviously the South Kingstown demographic. You might want to go a little bit,
A little bit bigger.
and north. See who's willing to drive. So the next meeting, so we talked about this earlier. Carol had picked up on, let's call it some efficiencies, anomalies. We weren't able to get everybody rallied just before the holidays. So the meetings are, what is it?
Third Thursday is what we chose.
Thursday.
The fourth Thursday is what you have on your,
That's our standing meeting. We tried to do something different at our prior meeting, and we went offline. We created a poll. In retrospect, when I saw the votes coming in, none of the officers could go to, the aggregate meeting time, so we didn't have the meeting. Yes.
I'd like to interrupt you there because we're under Robert's rules, and no officer needs to be at a meeting. And you can have a pro tem. It does not.
Understood.
That's not something we need to consider. Whether an officer, and we have made all our meetings around whether officers can be there or not. If you read Robert's rules, it clearly says that you can have a meeting. We voted illegally, number one, the whole poll was illegal. It was completely against, whatever, the way you did it. That was not, I've got all the verbiage on that. So the point is that we need to have meetings. What we didn't do the last time was we didn't make a motion, and we need to make a motion at the end of every meeting when our next meeting is gonna be. And one of the criteria isn't that we have an officer there, if you want to rule.
Right, and I think putting a positive spin on what you just said, and I think we need to walk away with this meeting with positivity.
We do have
you say
positivity.
we, and I think Carol should be heralded for bringing that up. Now it's drilled into my brain. So we want as much participation as possible, and a lot of the other officers have been involved since the beginning. It was a sleight of hand.
No.
Trying to make sure we were all included. So, forgive me, Carol, that's why that happened. I did reach out to Terry and asked her how we could do this, and there was a suggestion we could use this online poll.
I didn't realize administratively, I wasn't allowed to set up a poll to check
Well,
availability.
We're all learning. We
Yeah.
don't know. I didn't know any of this either. It's just, it's just, I'm sitting here saying, what? We're not gonna get to vote.
So on the same thing, here's, so can somebody please tell me what that date is, the fourth Thursday?
29th.
That's really.
22nd.
I would like to-
22nd,
I
yeah.
would like to make a motion that we don't have the fourth Thursday, because that is conflict with two of us we have standing committees at that time. You're going against a standing committee in this town. We're on the HDC, and they are the fourth Thursday of every month. And the third to be fine, the second to be fine, whatever, but the fourth, I'd like to make a motion that we do not have the fourth, because it's a conflict of interest right in this town. And if somebody'd like to second that and vote, I'd like to vote on that. Or if you just reconsider that, fine, however you want to do it, because we voted on it.
Here's the easy thing. I think it's easy for this upcoming month to not do it, because there's several of us that are going to be out of country. So I would absolutely agree for this next meeting. Yeah, we're going to go to Barcelona, and I'll be back, several of us are going to be back, me. So that's easy, right? But what is the mechanism to poll and to find out what is the best standing?
I would like to make a motion that it's not the fourth Thursday of every month, because it's a conflict of two people on this committee that are on other standing committees. This is a ad hoc committee, and we'd like not to have that. And we had it once before, but we didn't have this majority. We had 5 to 6 people to 2. Now we've got a different one, so I'd like to make that motion. Would anybody like to second that motion?
Do you make a motion?
I just don't want it, I'm not changing it.
Well, you should
Just-
propose another.
Yes, on any date but Thursday, I'd like to make that motion.
That's fine, if I could, so can somebody please second?
Second.
Okay, so under discussion, can we agree to do an offline poll of the committee members? 'Cause-
No, you can't.
No, no, hold on. To try to figure out if it's the second Thursday, or what is the best mechanism? Because I've got to get back and.
It's gotta be
I'm on
right here.
4 different committees right now, and I just got elected to an executive
Okay.
committee. So I'm concerned that, like. at the end of
Robert's
this-
Rules of Order says we've got to do it here.
We don't have to defer to Robert's Rules of Order to be okay? So let's
Yes, we
just
do.
figure this out. So
We adopted.
What
Excuse me,
is
sir.
convenient for everybody?
that's.
A day.
Is it a Thursday? Is it a Wednesday?
But we can do that right here.
Yeah, Thursdays are iffy for me on occasion because I have Elks meetings, so it's.
So yeah, I'm on the Bicycle Pedestrian Advisory Committee. That's the third. No, it's the second Thursday of every month.
What's wrong with Wednesday?
I know Bill's not here. I'm trying to remember. This is the.
So Bill has scouts at VFW. I have VFW on
What's
the
Tuesday like?
13th.
I don't hear anything. The only thing I know is Tuesday's the meeting.
I'm looking right now, to your question.
Yeah,
'Cause I think-
Tuesdays are normally bad for me, but.
I'm gonna, can we select the next meeting?
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that.
And then,
But
A-
I'd
a
still like to
motion.
make the motion, it's not gonna be the fourth Thursday.
okay. Any other?
That had
discussion?
already been seconded.
Yeah.
Okay,
Any
so
other
can we vote on
discussion?
that?
Yeah, any other discussion on that, Deb?
Nope, I'm in favor of it.
Okay, all those in favor for not
Wanna
being
go
on
home?
fourth Thursday?
Not the fourth
Okay.
Thursday.
Any opposed? Okay, so that passes. So we're-
Okay,
we're
now
clear that
I'm
we're-
clean.
Okay, so, and,
So I make a motion that we decide when our next meeting is, and as part of that, when we come to the next meeting, we have all looked at our own schedules, and we propose a new day of the week and week, day of the week and week to have.
Well, first we gotta decide on our next meeting,
That's what he said.
before we have that.
You
Yeah,
have to
you
make a
said that.
motion for
Yeah.
the next meeting. You've motioned to take it away, so
Right.
just pick another meeting day.
so let's look at specific, I mean, we're in January, right, so.
And it says that we're
Do we need to have
according
another
to,
meeting?
according to OMA, we are supposed to have our meetings announced regularly. On your website right now, it says the fourth Thursday of every month, we have a meeting. That hasn't been happening, okay?
Well, it does, but I think the point being, we talked about this earlier, we met this date in order to be prepared for the council meeting on the 12th. Right, so I'm sorry, we just left there. I know we kind of said, do we need to meet this month? We already met, so we're talking February?
Yes.
Looking at February.
February.
So let's take the first week in February.
So if you say, Kenny, that Wednesdays aren't good, Thursdays aren't good, how about February 10th? It's after the skirmish, so we can have a get together to determine how it went, whatever.
That's a Saturday?
It's February 10th, it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm out that day.
Okay, nope.
Yeah, but
How-
that's because of Muse, is that the first one?
Say that again?
Is that the Muse?
Yep.
Well, it's the 300th group.
How about
How about
Have it on
that?
Tuesdays,
the 17th?
17th I can do.
That's my Habitat for Humanity meeting.
What you building?
The 11th?
11th works for me.
11th's a Wednesday.
Is that speaker canceled for February, Kenny?
Ken, is the.
Oh,
That's the
they
speaker.
are.
Is it
right?
canceled?
They are?
Well, they are. They're in EMS training.
Oh, they
What about the
didn't tell us.
4th?
We'll have
What
to
about the
tell Chloe.
4th?
Well, we have.
Chloe, February 11th.
That's fine.
How about February the 4th?
Chloe.
That's great. That's a great date. Yeah, let's do that.
February 4th? What day is it? That's before the skirmish, so that's good. What
Yeah,
day of the week?
okay,
Wednesday.
yeah, and then if you need, yeah.
Well, this
Then if you-
If you can't come, you can't come.
It's not,
I just had a meeting earlier.
all that's gonna happen at this one, it'll be a.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
Amen.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. So then,
I make a motion that we accept February the 4th for our
okay,
next meeting.
second from.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. February 4th.
I don't care about February 4th. I don't think you have to make a motion to accept a date for a board meeting.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
So not in Robert's rule, Robert's rule on 47 different committees. You have to have a,
Let's bet.
you know what, Sharon, I'm not gonna have an argument with you at 7:15 about that.
No, I'm telling you, I'm right on this one.
Okay.
I've got it right here.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
So, can we change Chloe? Can you change that?
It's a good meeting.